So it's only fair that I'm starting this channel and I'm wanting people to share their own stories, that I share a bit about mine. And I guess different elements of mine will come out more when I have different guests on my show and how it relates to my journey. But I just wanted to give you a bit of an overview of who I am, what I do, and how I've got to where I am now. So I guess I'll start with the now. I'm a fully qualified sound practitioner and holistic health coach, and it took me a while to get here to find what I wanted to do and kind of really drill in on where I wanted to be in life. And I realised that I actually had to go through quite a lot to get here, and I had to process quite a lot. I'm very grateful for the people I've met along the way, and I couldn't have done it without them. And now I just want to share that with others and help others on their journey, because I really feel that sometimes we can feel so alone in this world, but actually we don't have to be, because we just need to find the right people around us, I feel, and to help us on that path. So how my story began is I dropped out of college and I started a job in TV in London, and then that started my TV career. So I worked on some really big shows for some incredible people, but it was very work hard, play hard. I lived in London, and it's a very stressful industry to work in. So I was kind of on the hamster wheel. I absolutely loved the job, but it's only now when I look back how it affected my health. I've now done a lot of work on it, so I realise how much it affected me. But I did absolutely love it, and I had some really good times, which I'll always be grateful for. But that was always my goal, to work in TV, and I did that. So I think sometimes I'm very good at forgetting when I put my head to something that I can actually achieve it, and I can be very hard on myself, as I guess a lot of us can be. But actually, when we can take a look back and see how far we've come, when I take that opportunity to take a look back at where I've come, I've actually come pretty far, and I've achieved everything that I've set out to, which I'm very grateful for. So that was kind of the start. And then I got to a point where I felt that I needed to have a bit of a break, have a bit of time out. And the place that had always really been calling me was Canada. I don't know why. I'd been having a really weird obsession with Canada ever since I was a kid. And I was meant to go when I was 21, but I was off the back of a really bad breakup, and I just didn't feel it was the right time. And then I got offered some amazing TV work, so the Rugby World Cup was coming into town, so I was like, actually, now's not the right time, I really want to do this. So I didn't go. And then 2 years later, I felt, right, I'm ready now, and then I went to Canada. Such a beautiful place, and I always have such a special place in my heart. And I did a ski season in Whistler. So I used to love to party in London, and everyone was like, well, you need to go to Whistler because they love to party. So I went out there, and it was the first time I'd ever done anything like that on my own, which was really quite overwhelming and scary. However, I met beautiful, beautiful people along the way that helped me on my journey. And I guess being out there, you're in a bubble, you see your friends 24/7. It was just such a unique way of life. And again, it was great. And I think the Canadians have a real work-life balance. So they work, and then they go on the slopes, or they go hiking in the summer. It was really beautiful to be around that, and just to be in the nature was amazing. We had a little golf course there, so he was like this little brown bear that lives on the golf course, and he was beautiful. And then out there, so I met some amazing friends, and did amazing things. But for me, I kind of got to Whistler, and I was like, I've kind of done this now. After a few weeks, I was like, it's really cold. And it was very expensive, so a lot of all the working visa people run the town, but it's built for millionaires, so it's very hard to kind of keep up with the expensive things out there. But I ended up meeting someone, and he was like, just stay for the summer. And I was like, I think I'm going to go to Vancouver, so stay for the summer. And I'm so grateful that I did. I had the most beautiful and amazing summer in Whistler, and again, just the hikes, the beauty of it was just incredible. And built this amazing relationship. And for me, it was the first relationship that I had felt truly safe and seen. So we kind of, but everything, because you're in a bubble out there, everything was expedited. So it was like 3 months in till we moved in together, and then we just lived together from then on in. When we came back from Canada, we ended up moving to Manchester. So again, my life was in London, my family were down south, but I thought, yeah, I'll give it a shot. So I moved up to Manchester, up north, and quickly fell in love with it. The Northerners, just how friendly they are, it just really resonated with me. And then like people, as am I. So it, quickly fell in love with the place. And we built a beautiful life together. We bought a house. We ended up getting a dog together, and we were together for almost 7 years. And I thought, this is it. This is the life that we have. Like, this is beautiful. Along the way and throughout our relationship, we hit quite a few things that I don't think loads of couples have to face. I had quite a lot that went on with my family that put a lot of pressure and strain on our relationship, and how I dealt with things, reflecting back, was probably not the best way. And I think, I'm still friends with my ex, and we've reflected on it since, but we just didn't communicate. And I think a lot of people struggle with the communication side of things, and I know we did for years. But then for a good 3 years that we were together, I was actually battling endometriosis and was living in crippling pain each and every day, which was really tough. And I'll go more into my endometriosis battle on the podcast when I have different guests on, but that put a lot of strain on our relationship. And it was hard for him to see me in the pain, and he couldn't really do anything about it. I suffered a lot of medical gaslighting, so I did think it was all in my head for quite a long time, which was really tough, and put me in a very dark place, to be honest. Really had to work through that, and I have, since I've gone on my healing journey, I've really come to terms with that and got to the grips of how and why. But that was really, really tough. And I guess the other thing that I've always battled with is my own mind. So I know everyone's relating to this now, but I got diagnosed with ADHD 2 years ago. And it made so much sense. I think for me, I've always just wanted to switch off that part of my brain. I used to come home from school and I'd be like, I just don't understand why I just can't switch off. I can't do these things right. Was very hard on myself always, and just had these tendencies to go in complete overdrive, complete overwhelm, and then just shut down. And that put a massive effect on the relationship that I had as well. But I didn't understand it until I kind of got the diagnosis. Then it made a lot more sense. Unfortunately, the person I was in a relationship with didn't want to understand that and work with me on that, which was tough. But again, you learn and you grow, which is fine. But I'm now understanding it a lot more and have a lot more sympathy for people that do struggle just on a daily basis with their mental health. It has been quite a roller coaster for me. And I got to the point where COVID, I quit TV and I wanted a permanent job, so I got a job in events. Again, a very stressful environment, but I thought it was permanent, and that's when I was in the height of my endo. And then COVID hit, and I got made redundant. So normally I'd go back and get a bar job, but obviously that wasn't happening in COVID. So again, I think a lot of people had this in COVID. It helped shine a spotlight on relationships and what was and wasn't working. So that was tough, because I think both of us just buried our head in the sand for a while. And then on the other side of COVID, I got another job freelance for a creative agency, which again was doing the job I didn't really want to do, but it, you got bills to pay. But it became clearer and clearer that I just wasn't happy, and I ended up back on antidepressants, wasn't in a very good headspace at all. And then the relationship was just deteriorating quite a lot. And then one day I had said that we needed to work on the relationship for quite a while. He wasn't ready to look at it. And then I came in one day and he said he didn't want to marry me and didn't want to have kids with me, which obviously was a massive blow, because I thought that was the next thing for us. We were going to get married and have kids, we had the house, we had the dog. That's what I thought was the right thing to do. And I think, hand on heart, we probably could have done that and just coasted and just been like, just kind of never say that we weren't happy, but just coast, which I do feel that quite a few people can do in life, and just say, well, this is my lot, kind of thing. But then when we had this break, because we broke up for a bit, and I started on my healing journey. So I decided, I always wanted my own business, so this was a time when I was like in a heightened emotional state, which I don't advise to anyone. I signed all these agreements to get a mobile coffee van up and running in the business, and I signed all these agreements that in hindsight I really shouldn't have signed, but it was very much F you, I don't need you, I'm a strong independent woman, kind of went into that mode. But that is when one of my friends took me to a cacao ceremony, and sitting on the mat with yourself for 4 hours when you've never done it before, you've never done meditation or anything, it was very, very hard. Cacao is a beautiful plant medicine, and it puts you into like a deep meditation, and with the music and the sounds and the energy healing that was offered throughout this ceremony, I had a really big release, and it just made me want to know more and delve deeper into my soul and my healing journey, and that's kind of where it began. Since then, I then went on to explore more plant medicines to try, and I just really wanted to understand me and come back to myself. And I think it was one of the hardest decisions to kind of open up that box and process all the stuff I've been through prior to that, but I'm so grateful for it. And I had one of my closest friends, she was there when I went to the depth of my soul. We both did at the same time, really. And to have her on that journey, I will always forever be grateful for. But yeah, it was, and then I did end up getting back with my ex, and we tried again, and we really gave it our all. But then it came to a point that actually I was going on my growth journey and my spiritual growth and healing journey, and he didn't want to grow, he didn't want to kind of grow with me. So we just went on two very separate paths, and then it came to a point where February last year, we had a really open, honest conversation, and I just said, I'm not happy. I need to, I think my exact words were, I need to detonate my life and just start again. And for me, anything that gets revealed in ceremony or meditation is very much like, sit with it and give it a moon cycle before you make any rash decisions, and definitely don't do everything all at once. For me, I don't work that way. I was like, if I don't do it now, rip off the band-aid, I'm never going to do it. So I had to kind of rip the band-aid off of everything. So we split up, we sold the house, I quit my job, I went full-time in my business, I had to try and find a new place to live. It was a lot. And my friends that were with me on this journey were like, George, this is like what? And it has been an interesting journey the past 18 months of battling through trying to see the wood through the trees, I guess. Buying a house is a very stressful thing, especially when you've got someone else to share that kind of stress with. And we'd bought a new build, so it was very easy just to like put a deposit down on the plan and then you're off and you just wait for it to be built. The house I'm in now was a completely different situation. I was in a chain, I didn't think it was going to go through, there was so much that happened, it took me ages to get to here. So me and the dog, I have a dog called Charlie, he's crazy. We just kind of stayed with friends. I was trying to get the van up and running, and then I got a film job with the coffee van and I was like, amazing, this is great. So I got 2 months in Nottingham, everything's going to work out, we'll be fine. And then I was literally packing up my stuff, driving down to Nottingham, and then I got a call that the writer's strike had happened, so they were delaying the film, and that just sent me into meltdown. I just thought, I was like, I've got nowhere to live, I've got no work booked, I don't know what I'm doing. It was a bit of a wild time, but I look back on it now and everything happens for a reason. I didn't get that job because that job got cancelled, because then that labelled me to see the house that I now live in. So it was all very much divine timing, and I've had to go through a lot to sit here and be like, the bad things that have happened have all been lessons, and everything happens how it should and in the right timing. And I think for me, I'm so impatient and I want things to happen how I want them to happen. And sometimes when we get like that, we get in our own way and we can push things that maybe just aren't in alignment for us. Sometimes we just need to say, okay, like trust and allow and just know that things are coming. If not this, then better. And I think that my best friends always said that to me. And there's no truer way. And I think processing the breakup, and I mean, he was my first love, and I'll always love him. But it was really hard to kind of accept that, because I was like, what if? But actually, he just couldn't, I don't think he ever would be able to love me the way that I know I need to be loved and what I want out of a relationship. And it took me a while to get to that point. A lot of soul-searching, and actually realising that it's all within me and my self-love. So last summer I went on a real journey about connecting back to myself and my body, and I think the endo had really put a big block on the connection that I felt with myself and the love that I had for myself and my body, because I blamed it for so much, for causing so much distress in my life, and being in so much pain. I really struggled with that. But again, like going on this journey, I had to work through that, and it's been a long road. It's been a really long road, and I think I've definitely now got to a point where through my plant medicine, through the breath work, through the sound, through the people I've met along the way, who I've learnt from, who I've grown with, it's really, I feel like now I've really come into my own, and I've now got my own little home, my little happy place. Me and the dog, I've got beautiful people in my life, and I've completed my health coach qualification, and for me it really resonated with me because it shows our whole life and our whole health as a holistic approach, in the sense that it's not just food, it's not just exercise, it's the relationships in your life, the fun you're having, the family connections you have, like all these connections with everything around you makes up the whole person. And I think we forget that And I think we can get so focused on like one singular thing, but actually it's a whole holistic approach to give you that whole, it's a balance act, all these different elements of our life. It's a big balance act. And I've completed my sound training, and I've had such amazing results through sound and breath work. They've been real medicine to me and have really helped me on my journey. And now I feel ready to step into that and help others. So that's why I'm now doing group sound sessions, weekly sound sessions, one-to-one. I'm available for one-to-ones, and the one-to-one health coaching with breathwork and sound as well is what I'm really passionate about bringing to people and helping them on their journey. I would always be grateful for people who have my life, and this is why I now feel I've always wanted to create content and create a series that show people and tell people's journeys and give people a platform to share their stories, because, as I say, I feel that everyone does have a story to share, and the more we share that and connect with others, I think the more beautiful world it is, to be honest. So yeah, I guess this is just an insight into me and how I've got to where I am and where I'm at now, and I'm very grateful for everything that I've been through and what's got me here, and I'm so grateful for the support of the people in my life and who have agreed to share their stories on this platform as well. So I'm excited to see where things go and for the future, and I hope that this has helped give you a bit of an insight into me and why I created Soulistics. So please feel free to reach out. I'd love to hear from you and connect with you. And yeah, here's to the future.